Alright, United Rogue, welcome back, and we're going to be starting off with a quick 10 p.m. match. You're going to be taking a look at the Noodle Cup series this time around. It's the Vancouver Wild taking on the Maui Ancients, and let me introduce to the desk. It's the awesome Bill from Dawsonville. How's it going, man?
Oh, it's going good. I'm so excited for this match. This is, a team that wants to hold its playoff position versus a team desperately looking to get into that playoff position. Really evenly matched on both sides. I think we're in for a fantastic match this season.
Yeah, and we were talking a little bit prior to the stream getting underway, Bill, and we mentioned that Vancouver is going to be pretty much looking for a win here. They're right now sitting at 4-6 in the standings, and a win here gets them that much closer to the playoffs. And if you actually take a look at some of these NCS standings, oh my goodness, they are so close. It's quite frankly ridiculous. So every win means a lot here, Bill.
Yeah, I mean, it's an absolute thunderdome when you look in the playoff hunt section and just above it in the Noodle Cup right now. Vancouver, to give everyone an idea, with a win right now, Vancouver goes from 13th to 9th in their conference.
My goodness.
So massive standings potential changes here if Vancouver can pull out a win. And that honestly puts them one win behind Maui. Maui's only 8 points ahead in the standings right now in Vancouver. They're the 5th seed. Vancouver's the 13th. So, like you said, it is a bloodbath in the Noodle Cup right now, and every win is going to really, really count. So I expect to see a playoff-style Rocket League happening here.
That being said, Bill, who do you got for this match of Maui versus Vancouver? Who do you got coming on top?
You know what? Ask me after game one. I honestly,
all right,
it could go both ways right now, and I don't want to put my money behind any particular horse until I see a little bit of Rocket League here.
I'll tell you, I'll put my money where my mouth is right now. I got Maui coming out on top here in this series. They have shown to be the more dominant force thus far in Noodle Cup series, or at least in this division. Already Vancouver, though, looking to start off and get the upper hand here early into game number 1, Bill.
Yeah, it was fantastic play as Fishy goes in there, tries to get a goal. Vancouver, like we said, huge standings implications if they can get the win here, and they are playing hungry to start this game.
For sure, both teams duking it out at the beginning of game number 1. Both teams looking for a foothold. A first goal here would be massive, and Doja does just that. Finds a quick one from the midfield as Maui can't make the stop.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit of a defensive breakdown. Good pressure on the wall from Zach. Gets Maui a little bit out of place. Vancouver takes that early lead that can be crucial sometimes in making a statement and getting early wins on this series.
A big statement for Vancouver here to open up game number 1, and now once again, they've come off with a quick possession so far. At the beginning of game number 1, they've demonstrated consistent pressure. So far, golden looks as Fishy from the skies can't find the double tap, but Vancouver, not what we expected. We knew Maui were going to be the overdogs, but we didn't really predict that the underdogs would perform so strongly thus far.
Yeah, I mean, we're only a minute in, and you can definitely say that, a minute into a game in a 5-game series doesn't necessarily mean too much, but it's about making your point, and it's about letting them know that this is not going to be easy. Standings don't matter. Everyone is capable of getting a win in this league, and Vancouver's here to prove that.
And they will continue proving. Just a minute and a half gone past in game number 1. Maui on the offensive, and now Desire gets the equalizer. It's what they've been looking for quite a minute here. It only took them one quick setup from Boy Wonder to do the trick, and as such, dead even game here, Bill.
Yeah, absolutely. That might be one that Zach wants back. A little quick, cute bounce off the wall gets Maui right back into this game. So far, a really evenly matched series.
Now Vancouver looking for their come up once again. They had that 1-goal lead earlier, and they're going to be hunting for a comeback as it's Dicey on the goal line. Maui turns it away and off the crossbar once again. Vancouver cannot sink it in. Maui gifted a second chance at life here, Bill. How they managed to hold on by a thread, truly beyond me.
Yeah, that is a really, really tight goal line play. That's such an easy play to get in your head about to make a mistake, and they were so steadfast. That's the exact kind of play that gets you into a playoff position at this point in the season, like Maui is.
Yeah, Maui showing some of that resilience here, and they're going to be tested once again on the goal line as Vancouver continue to advance. Strong 50 being taken on either side of the pitch, so both teams rushing to once again get a possession. Here's Fishy and Doja trying to combine here on the near post. Doja can't break past Ventus, and Ventus looking for a big clear to put Maui in a strong spot for that second goal, and no, it doesn't quite happen.
Oh, those are such brutal moments. If you're on D, you got to be kissing the post. If you're on offense, you're cursing it. Just so close to being a 2-1 goal, 2-1 lead here for Maui.
Pure millimeters away from making that happen, Bill. Yet we remain dead equal 1-1 apiece. You got to imagine at this point, whoever finds their second goal here in game number 1 is gonna walk out on top, and Maui certainly hoping that they are the ones who take the cake, with Ventus from the corner, Desire as well finding his time to challenge as he dives deep, tries to buy Maui a little more time, a little more space to work with, but Vancouver surviving once again on the defensive half. One mistake and it could all come toppling here, Bill.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a Maui team that, they're in a playoff position. They got a positive win score, like point share so far in the season, but they also are just coming off a sweep from Utah. That's not easy to take. You gotta, sometimes it can take a little bit to get your legs under you. So I like the way that Maui's holding up here, especially coming out after that loss.
Now we're down to only a couple seconds remaining. Both teams, the momentum at a pure standstill. One goal will define who sets the trend here early on in the series. The net looking a little bit open for the time being as Vancouver tries to rush it. And now Doja past one. He's past two. Can he sneak it past the near post along with Fishy's help? But no, Ventus. He's been crucial in denying some of these offensive attempts from Vancouver, and he comes in clutch once again, Bill.
Yeah, this has been a fantastic game so far. I mean, Vancouver's really, really putting the pressure on. They're keeping it up. Maui is surviving so confidently. Both sides are, obviously we're 10 seconds away from OT in game 1 here, so it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know these two teams are a little deadlocked. But there's a good share of pressure, good share of solid defensive play, a little bit of luck. This has been a great game so far, regardless of what the score says. I like a high-scoring game, but this is nice.
Yeah, this is textbook Rocket League on either side of the pitch. Both teams finding each other on the pitch time and time again, really starting to make those connections work in their favor. Now Ventus downfield finds Boy Wonder, and Desire as well sneaks in a challenge on the side wall. Should put Vancouver in a tough spot here, especially with Maui beginning to close ground, but Vancouver sneaking in some of these big clears has forced Maui to retreat back into their own half as both these teams once again fighting in the midfield.
Yeah, this has been a situation for Vancouver where, like you said, there's a lot of really solid long clears. I want to see them maybe hold the possession a little bit better after some of them. Try to do it a little bit more calculated than they have so far. But you can't say anything bad about the outcome until right there Desire decides, I'm done with this one, and finishes it off.
But that is ridiculous from Ventus, a full dunk on the sidewall. He somehow recovers and gets back to it. And as such, Maui come out on top for game number 1. They are the overdogs in this matchup. That being said, Vancouver, incredibly close game. Textbook plays on either side of the pitch. And it still feels like anyone could come out on top here, Bill.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it went to OT for a reason. Vancouver had that solid opening pressure, led to an early goal, and maybe they took their foot off the gas a little bit, didn't quite have the rhythm on offense they needed, but man, that was a close game, and you got the feeling that the team to make the mistake at the wrong time was going to be the one to lose. So Vancouver can just tighten up a little bit, maybe finish a little bit cleaner on offense. They absolutely could pull out some W's here. no reason to start changing up the game plan based on what I saw in that game one.
We saw actually how close Vancouver were to making their 1 goal lead a reality. I mean, some of those shots, Bill, they were off the post by literal millimeters. And Vancouver, you know, they're putting in that many good looks on the net. They are certain to come out on top here if they can continue to execute and deliver as we get into game number 2. But for the time being, Maui setting the trend. They got the momentum right now, Bill.
Yeah, absolutely. I did say I would give you a prediction after game one, and I'm just going to go the underdogs right now. I'm going to say Vancouver pulls out a win. I like the way their offense looks in game one. If that starts connecting, I don't think Maui has an answer.
We'll see how it goes here in game number 2 as the paper is beginning to unravel. Desire already up quickly. Maui has been demonstrating some of that speed over the course of game number 1. Ventus, in particular, coupled with Desire, has been a truly deadly force in Vancouver. Now looking to answer back here in game number 2.
Yeah, Maui really has a solid two-way game going. They respond well to pressure. They recover well from mistakes. They really can keep the game in the midfield where no one really has the edge, and then score those opportunistic goals. So they don't ask how, they ask how many. And especially at this point in the season, when it comes to wins, that's all you want. How many wins can we get? Doesn't matter if it's pretty. Doesn't matter if it's, a 5-goal laugher or something.
What?
Boy Wonder puts in a really crazy goal off the ceiling there.
How on earth is he getting that angle, Bill? I mean, he's landing on the ceiling. He gets the recovery as well. I mean, Vancouver certainly not expecting that ball to be threatening on the goal line. Thought they had a little more time to turn it away, in Maui proved them wrong here once again, setting the trend, continuing the momentum, and it doesn't look like this train is stopping anytime soon.
No, that was a fantastic goal. I mean, if you're Vancouver, it's almost the kind of goal that you want to get scored on you. It's the kind of goal where you say, okay, if you're going to hit them like that, I'll let you take that. It's a low percentage shot, but that was so clean from Boy Wonder. He's got to be grinning in the VC right now.
Yeah, Vancouver, I can only imagine the frowns they've got on their faces as once again, trailing by 1. It was a 1-goal game back in game number 1, and at this rate, I anticipate we'll see something similar here, but now we're getting closer to finding that second as Doja turns it away. You can see Zach as well harassing his opponents on the offensive end, trying to buy Vancouver a look at the net, but it's been incredibly hard-earned, Bill, and they still have not got one to their name.
Yeah, absolutely. Vancouver's getting a little tied up in the corners. They're not getting those shots out in front of the net, and they're not making Maui make the saves early in this game the way they were
No way.
in game 2. Oh, jeez, that was tight. They're also getting some really frustrating moments like that from Maui. So they got to keep their heads up and keep the pressure on. You're down 1, you're down a game, but still definitely come back in this. We're seeing a little bit of defensive breakdowns there from them too. So I hope they keep their heads up and keep the pressure on, because I think they can make quite a bit of noise here.
Oh, you can see that frustration really beginning to settle in here. That's the 4th of many shots from Vancouver, which have been sent to the crossbar, and still Vancouver itching for that first goal as Fishy downfield Zach as well to pick it up and continue to play in the corner. But Maui has done well. Textbook defense as well as clinical rotations. I'm sure that no real threat has come to their goal line, at least not here in game number 2. They've always had a player back. This time around the net, looking slightly open, and still Vancouver cannot find that first goal. What's it gonna take?
Oh, God, the post is just hating Vancouver right now. That's 2 beautiful shots, but then Doja goes and finally finishes it off. Yeah, you can't get that many crossbars without getting one in the net.
I mean, about time that Vancouver found, that first goal, it took, 7, 8 crossbars, I want to say, before finally Vancouver sinks it into the back of the net. And now Maui, once again, we are dead equal history repeats itself, and we're seeing a pretty much a replica of game number 1, Bill.
Yeah, absolutely. Just the evil twin of game number 1. So got to see if we get another OT here. I've really liked how Vancouver's responded in the second half of this match so far. I mean, they were only on a handful of shots at about mid-time when I was talking about, maybe getting jammed up in the corners a little bit, not having too much music on offense, and now they've rocketed into the lead fully for shots. They're making them make saves, and this is exactly how they need to play if they're going to get a win here.
Now imagine if Vancouver was shooting at more than a, what is it, 25%, then these guys would be so clearly on top right now. Nevertheless, dead even here once again. One mistake could send everything collapsing as both teams duke it out in the midfield. Zach turns it away. Wonder there as well to keep Maui alive, but it's a little dicey on the near post as Vancouver trying to build up some momentum, but it is truly end-to-end stuff we're witnessing here, Bill.
Yeah, there's neither team is given an inch here.
Oh!
Oh, Fishy puts it just a little too close to the near post. Lets Ventus get in there for the save. That is that's gonna come back to haunt them if they can't pull out this win here for sure.
And it's looking like 2 games, 2 overtimes are what we're going to get here for this series as Vancouver finally going to let this one drop. And overtime, once again, we saw Maui take that previous overtime back in game number 1. And this time around, Bill, the script has got to flip.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Vancouver has the momentum behind them right now. I think they were getting the good opportunities towards the end of regulation. So I got them for this OT right now. I know I called them for the whole series at the start of the game, but I got them for this OT right now regardless. I really like the way they're playing. I think they're making their chances.
As long as they continue to pepper the net, they will crack it open like we saw in regulation of game number 2. And now Ventus, slightly off target. Fishy there to turn it away. Nevertheless, still Vancouver being threatened as Vancouver. A calculated fake allows them to recover possession temporarily, but still, Maui continuing to bear down. You can see them gaining that boost advantage as well, and Vancouver beginning to run a little bit dry.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is textbook offensive
Wait,
pressure.
what?
Oh, what a steal. Wait, I mean, that's, they didn't quite capitalize there, but that's the exact kind of pressure you want to put on in these kind of situations. When they're getting cocky, they got men up. You really want to put that on. Oh, what an amazing save from Sack to keep it alive in OT.
Truly heroics here from Vancouver, but they have yet to get that first goal here to seal off post-regulation. Now Desire, air double boy wonders there as well, and oh no, Vancouver, they had the save, but inadvertently it's ended up in the back of their own net. A heartbreaker to finish off this overtime.
Oh, that's that's so rough. That's such a panic play. That's never what you want to see. Uh, you know, you thought you were in there to cut off the line and it bounces out. You didn't need to put that pressure on, slam it in, especially in OT. That's a heartbreaker. That being said, I think Vancouver, again, doesn't need to flip the script that much with how they're playing. Both of these are OTs, 1-goal games. If they can break up some of that luck from Boy Wonder, this is a completely different game too. I'm not counting them out for a reverse sweep here. If they can get a little bit more rhythm going, they're right back in this.
Yeah, certainly, especially if Vancouver continue to execute on some of these shots. I mean, take a look at the numbers, Bill. There are so many on the side of Vancouver, but man, crossbar after crossbar after crossbar in regulation can certainly be a little disheartening here on the side of Vancouver. Man, and Maui on the other side of the pitch has done well, although it's been pretty tense at times, seeing that ball slam into your crossbar over and over. You got to commend Maui for staying calm on the defense.
Yeah, absolutely. They've really had their composure. There's not been the kind of panic moments that we maybe saw across Vancouver that game too in OT. They've been really, really tight. They've been getting some luck with the crossbar, but they have to like the way they're playing right now.
Right on, as we get into game number 3, Maui find themselves on match point, and if they are able to replicate, they will be finishing off with a sweep. Certainly not what Vancouver hopes to have in store. As once again, the fireworks start up in game number 3. Doja sending it central. Fishy there as well, so is Zach. All 3 players for Vancouver getting involved and setting up early pressure. Just what you want to see here, Bill.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to take a full three-man team to get a win here. No hero ball is going to get a win for Vancouver. So, got to see them firing on all cylinders. Got to see them taking every advantage that they can over Maui, because Maui has just been really shut down.
Once again, Vancouver beginning to threaten that goal line, and Doja gets the first. Vancouver, it's been a while since we've seen them take that 1-goal lead. In fact, last time they had a lead was back in game number 1 for a short while, until Maui was able to make that comeback. And here, once again, is Vancouver with that first. This time around, they've got to hold on to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's Doja again making the statement goal for Vancouver, which is what you need to do. Uh, you know, you need to make a statement and you need to do it consistently. So I really like Doja taking on that role and getting pucks in the net.
Still Maui on the hunt and looking for that comeback. We've seen the amount of offensive pressure they're able to put up, especially Boy Wonder back in game number 2. Saw some pretty crazy goals from him, especially the what under Ventus. Nearly able to find the skim onto the goal line, but still just goes to show you how creative this Maui roster can be in Vancouver. Really having to keep their heads on a swivel.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no easy goals, and there's so far no easy saves. Oh, jeez, what a perfect demonstration of what I'm talking about. Desperation save. Maui is so hard to crack there on defense. Vancouver's got to be feeling a little bit of frustration.
Yeah, I can feel the burn beginning to settle in really for both teams here. Has a little bit of awkwardness on the goal line. Ventus, he's looking for the bump as well to try to set up Maui, get themselves that equalizer goal. Boy Wonder, who was so integral back in game number 2 to getting that first goal and in fact getting the winner in that overtime. Gonna be looking at him once again as Desire to the skies, turned away by Vancouver this time around. Here's Boy Wonder, the man of the hour, tries to put it away, but Vancouver once again staying strong.
Yeah, oh, what an incredible save from Zach there. That's exactly what you need to see to keep the team in this game. You definitely don't want to give up the goal after getting your first. It's been the story of game 1, and it's really been the story of both games. Vancouver wants to take some kind of real lead here. Don't want to have to play, with so much constant desperation, so much sweat. So that is just such a fantastic save from Zach to keep Vancouver in this.
We've seen some ridiculous saves from Zach as well. We saw one back in game number 2. He's been ridiculous on the goal line, Bill, and once again comes up huge on the side of Vancouver. Now Maui on the offensive double tap. Boy Wonder has done it again. He's been responsible for 3 goals in a row now for Maui.
Yeah, I mean, there's not enough good can be said about Boy Wonder, who has at times this season struggled a little bit on offense coming into this. Not even a goal per game or half a goal per game on the season. So this has got to be a great confidence builder coming into the end of the season for Boy Wonder here. Keeping Maui in every single game, getting wins, putting the pressure on at the right time.
And just like that, here in game number 3, we find ourselves in yet another 1-1 score line. If history repeats itself, Maui will be coming out on top for game number 3. Vancouver looking to rewrite the books while they still can. A minute and change in their hands means it's all on the table as Doja to the skies. Zach quick up to the ball as well, trying to set up his teammates. Another shot on the goal line as Maui once again staying calm and composed. It's been the name of the game here for Maui, Bill.
Yeah, absolutely. Cracking Ventus, especially on D for Maui, has just been such an impossible task for Vancouver. I mean, they've scored once in each of the 3 games, that's tough, especially the amount of pressure they're putting on, the amount of great looks they're getting.
No way.
Oh, that's another one that's going to be really tough if you don't get a W here. That's so close, 2 posts and out. Really, really close for Vancouver to get that lead.
Yeah, I can't help but feel like that one was on a silver platter, Bill. I mean, what more is it going to take for Vancouver to get that second goal? And it looks like we might be on the road for yet another overtime. 3 games, 3 overtimes, and really this series score is not doing this series justice. Couple of seconds remaining here in regulation for Maui to try to rob it away as Ventus approaching on the near post. Desire keeps it up for the time being in Vancouver. Happy to let this one drop, and yet again, another overtime.
Yeah, this is a Vancouver team that doesn't want to call it quits this
Oh,
early. There you
okay.
go, Doja. Once again, early pressure off a kickoff lets Doja take a lead, win a game. Doja has been the star on offense for Vancouver for me.
Yeah, but great play by Vancouver, and it must have been difficult going into that overtime knowing Maui have taken those last 2 overtimes, and to be able to come out on top this time around is truly some heroics from Vancouver, and now we keep this series alive. This is by and far one of the closest ones I've watched all season. Just goes to show you how close it is getting into this NCS playoffs, Bill.
Yeah, I mean, the idea that this Vancouver team might not make the playoffs and how many teams are sitting above them and the way you watch them play, I mean, this is just phenomenal Rocket League. The level of skill at play in the Noodle Cup is just unreal this season.
Yeah, this is pretty ridiculous. Now Vancouver, they've got themselves a little more momentum as they start to build up that reverse sweep, and that one game means a whole lot for them. Doja as well credited with both the goals here. We've seen some of his speed, some of his offensive capability back in games 1 and 2, but man, he really shown here in game number 3. Let's see if Vancouver continues.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting that one win is sometimes easier than getting that second and forcing that game 5. But that's exactly what Vancouver's already done this week. Has managed to get a game 5, get a point out of the series, even if they're not going to get the W. That's still crucial in the standings when things are as close as they are. So, every win counts right now for them. You're not thinking about game 5. You're thinking about just getting this win here early.
And both teams going to be looking for that win here. I sense we're approaching yet another 1-1 overtime, but maybe this time around it will be different as Maui takes to the skies. They're going to be looking for their first goal early here with Ventus. Instant shot on target. No, it's gone slightly wide. Doja to turn it away for the time being, but Maui inching closer. It's been a real battle of blows over the course of the series, Bill, to find out who gets that first goal.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what the outcome, no one can feel bad about how their team's playing here. I mean, both of them have survived insane amounts of offensive pressure. They've had a little bit of luck go their way, but there is so much skill on display from both teams. It would be a tragedy for either of these teams not to make the playoffs, but that's just how good this tier is right
No
now.
way, boy wonder, another double tap lineup. We saw the double tap from him back in game number 3, and now he's nearly slammed that one in. Would have been a ridiculous way for Maui to find that first. But still, we remain dead equal here as 50 after 50 being taken in the midfield. Both teams vying for possession, and finally Vancouver able to get themselves a piece. Another shot on target turned away.
Yeah, there's I mean, there's just so much momentum shifting going on in this game. Like, it can't be understated. No team really is safe at any point in time. Every team has had to recover from, little mistakes massively, and the quality of play is just phenomenal. I mean, we're coming into mid halftime here in game 4. 0-0. Both teams just playing so tight, desperate for that win.
And now you can see the passes beginning to form as well. Boy Wonder dives deep. Now Desire there as well, albeit with no boost to his name. He's going to have to let that play go. Still Maui continuing to advance Boy Wonder. He's not been afraid to challenge deep and early and force Vancouver back into their own corner, into their own goal line as well. Maui continuing to keep up the pressure. It's been the name of the game here as they still barely holding on a couple of boosts for Maui, but now looks like that offense beginning to fizzle out.
Yeah, it's not been a huge amount of shots on goal so far from Vancouver. To me, that is what's going to get them the win. Like you said, last game, just throwing whatever on net and letting the pressure get felt by Maui, looking for them to start making a mistake or two. I think that's what's going to get them goals, and haven't quite seen that, but they have exploded in the past for some more scoring opportunities late. So we'll see if that's the story of this game too, as Fishy gets one to take the lead with 90 seconds left in game 4.
And you had to feel like it was only a matter of time before Vancouver finally put that one in. Maui was running so low on boost, it was really only Boy Wonder who had more than a half tank to work with. Everyone else on the side of Maui sitting at pretty close to none, just running on fumes in Vancouver. They've got that 1-goal lead yet again. Maui, if this game is anything like that past, we're about to see an equalizer here pretty soon.
I'm sure one of these teams is got to be sick of the 1-2 finish, but I'm starting to get used to it. I'm starting to enjoy the rhythm of this. So maybe we get another minute or two of OT. I'm enjoying this. I really want a game 5, so I am still fully rooting for Vancouver here.
See if they can hold on to that 1-goal lead. Maui, though, is continuing to bear down. You can see the passes beginning to form. Desire and Boy Wonder, 2 players we've been looking at on the side of Maui. They've been connecting over and over. And now they are looking to connect once again. Just under a minute remaining. Precious seconds for Maui here to keep this game alive. But Vancouver have a firm chokehold over this game and over the possession as well. Vancouver open net if they can sink it in, but Maui rushes back in the nick of time.
Oh, like you said, Vancouver has just been putting on a show since I kind of mentioned it last time. Apparently about mid-time each game I should mention that Vancouver is doing a little weak on offense, because they just absolutely put the pedal to the metal after it each time. And they are now 9 seconds away from forcing a game 5 here.
No way! What?
Oh!
Of course, it's Boy Wonder to set a Ventus, and just a few seconds remaining. Yet again, 1-1 overtime on the horizon. I think we shouldn't really be surprised here, Bill, and somehow I still am.
Yeah, every time. It's still getting me. It's making my heart skip every time, and yet it has been the story of all 4 games so far here. We got, unless we get a little 0 hero, nope, we are going to our 4th straight 1-1 overtime.
Vancouver took the last one, but Maui had the first 2. It's a battle of attrition to find out who will take this game number 4 overtime. Will Vancouver be able to force that game 5? And you can feel the nerves beginning to form here. It's been incredibly tense, but Vancouver now really beginning to feel the pressure, especially with Maui starting to get some of these early shots on target. A couple seconds gone by, a massive one downfield, Bill, as Vancouver looks for the shots.
Yeah, I mean, that's some really early pressure from Maui in the first 30 seconds or so here, which is definitely not what you want to see from Vancouver. But a solid response to at least alleviate that for a little bit, let them regroup, let them try and start something. Still struggling a little bit to get out of their end, but they got their head in the right place.
Now Vancouver continuing to pepper the net. But Maui from the ceiling, it's Desire flip reset as well. Boy Wonder has actually pre-jumped this. And Maui so close as this ball teetering on the goal line. They sink it in, and with that, they will walk out with the series. 3 overtime wins for Maui out of the 4 total overtimes. I think the series score of 3-1 simply does not do this one justice, Bill.
No, not in the slightest. I mean, that's what I said back after game one. I think it holds true the whole time. Like, Vancouver had a couple little mistakes, but Maui had some mistakes too. And those were such close games. I mean, you're talking about fifth seed versus like 13th seed, and it's that tight. It's hard to even think about what you do as Vancouver. Like, maybe try to get some more plays running. Maybe try to work on the shooting accuracy a little bit. They had a lot of shots without too much conversion in some of those games, but man, Maui just locked the door and they played the way they needed to the whole time.
What an absolutely fantastic way to close out the night, Bill. And with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Stay tuned because next week we're going to start off with some more matches. And as we get closer to the playoffs, Bill, it's really starting to heat up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anyone watching knows that this is a league where every single point is going to matter. Every game five loser point is going to matter. Uh, it- you know, Vancouver still can even come back in this. They just got to regroup for some of those last four matches. But Maui putting themselves in a nice place to make the playoffs. And after that display, I think they deserve it.
And with that, chat, we're going to go ahead and call it a night. Thank you for joining us tonight. And make sure to stay tuned because we got some more bangers coming at you in just a week. But for now, have a good rest of your night. See you next time.